This is Larry Jordan, the host of the Digital Production Buzz. The following interview is an excerpt from a recent program. To hear the entire program, visit digitalproductionbuzz.com. Greg Boren is the product marketing engineer at Marshall Electronics. He came to Marshall after 22 years with Panasonic Broadcast Systems Company, and before that, he was with NBC Burbank, where he was the technical manager on The Tonight Show. Greg is also the president of the Society of Television Engineers and a member of SMPTE. Good to have you with us, Greg. Welcome.
Thanks.
So, how would you describe Marshall Electronics?
It's an interesting company. It's one of the few manufacturers still in the U.S. that builds at least part of our products domestically. It's a really interesting company. It's about 100 employees, privately owned by Leonard Marshall. The name comes from him.
You're based where?
Pardon?
You're based where?
Oh, we're located not too far from LAX, El Segundo.
So you're based in El Segundo?
Do you make microphones, by the way?
And we do make microphones. These aren't them. Yes, we make a rather big line of microphones under the MXL brand.
Do you happen to make 8-foot tables?
It would be nice, wouldn't it? It'd be pretty nice, because I brought a lot of junk here. So,
well, Marshall has evolved a lot as a company over the years.
It has.
What is it doing now?
Well, it really did start in the audio side of the business, audio and audio cabling back in the analog days, Mogami cable, which is what people used a lot for the audio consoles and so on. And then somewhere along the way, prior to me being there, they came up with the first rack-mounted panels with small monitors in them. Mm-hmm. And that was such a hit that that's what people know Marshall for today.
Absolutely. Those rack-mounted monitors are like everywhere.
We have probably 75 different models of those, and also camera-top monitors.
Really? You have 75
we have
models?
A lot of models.
Wow.
Yeah, enormous number of models. Some with quad splits, some with waveform vector scopes in them, things like that.
Is it the same screen, just different inputs? Or
no, they're very different. Each one's a little bit different. And that's one of the things. We also have modular inputs where, I need this kind of connection. I just put a different module on the back. So a lot of them are in remote production trucks, variety of things. But at any rate, that's the
the thing I like about it is they don't take a lot of space. Yeah. I mean, they're flat and they squeeze up against a wall.
And you put a lot in one panel and so on. There's a big range of those. But that's what we're known for. But more recently, we have been getting into a lot of other things. We make encoders for streaming, like this show. We can stream live on the web, and we've done that with our encoders. We have cameras, which we're going to talk about today, and more monitors, especially at NAB. Who goes to NAB? You guys go to NAB, I assume?
We are going to NAB.
That's He's going to be there.
Oh, beautiful.
On the show floor, next to the Marshall booth.
Yeah, we're Central Hall, by the way. That's a plug.
Oh, good.
Central Hall, halfway down on the main aisle. But, I've done 35 NABs, I think it is, something like that.
You know, you lose count after a while.
Yeah, it's been a lot of them. But anyhow, the National Association of Broadcasters show, for those who may not know what NAB stood for. But, we'll be there, and we have something that doesn't sound real sexy. We make these adapters, and they're really coming on fast. We have a range of things. We're kind of ahead of the curve on those.
Well, wait. What kind of adapters?
Well, they'll take the new 12G serial signal, which is for 4K, convert that to optical and back. We do a variety of things, and there's a bunch more coming out. We have a little skunkworks sort of thing going on there right now.
Much though I'd love to think about 12G converted to 4K, and I have a need for at least 25 or 30,000 of these things.
Sure you
Me
do.
too.
Most of us would prefer to talk about something a bit more interesting.
Yeah, that's right.
And I noticed that you've got some friends sitting here on the table.
These are fun.
What are these?
Well, these are very small cameras, and what you're looking at in the middle of the table are our two largest cameras. And this one here...
Now, just leave it there, because otherwise we're going to have a really hard time taking a close-up of it.
That's right, because you've probably zoomed in on it. Well, this one here is... Well, these are all that I'm going to show you. They are all 1920 by 1080. In other words, full HD cameras.
Progressive?
Either way, they're selectable, progressive scan or interlace.
Frame rate?
Some of them are set up for more for round numbers. If you're into the tech numbers like 5994 and those things, some are set up for 60, some are set up for 5994, which means they work in the U.S. market broadcast. If you're just streaming, those numbers don't mean anything. Everybody can watch anything on their computer. When it comes to working with professional broadcast equipment, you have to have exactly the right frame rates and things to do that. So this one here, though, is interesting in this very exact model in this arrangement with a very nice Fujinon lens on the front. This is used on the Ellen show. They have a whole bunch of these scattered all around the stage, and they move them around. So if they want to get somebody walking down the hall or going into the dressing room or something like that, they throw.
Can we still get good pictures from something that tiny?
Oh, sure. Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah, they're very good.
What's the ISO?
And well, that's a number we haven't even calculated. That's a very good number. Probably in the 300, 400 range.
Not too bad.
Not bad. Actually, these actually have night vision modes in most of them. So that pulls a lot of tricks to do that. You'll bring the grain up a little bit. You might even go black and white. But we can work down in very, very low light levels with these if you don't mind compromising some things.
So I'm just thinking of our studio here. We're an all HDSDI studio.
Right.
So I can take HDSDI coming out the back of this and just plug it into the switcher.
You sure could.
So what about the camera to my side of it, the left of it? This one right there.
Okay. This one here, well, this one's one of the few cameras we have.
Our camera guy nuts,
Sorry, I'm turning. Let me rotate it. I'm throwing him.
You want to see the back of this.
The back of it also has HDMI and SDI. So that's one of the few dual-purpose cameras we have.
Now, we're getting a question on our live chat, so I want to ask this.
Great.
The frame rate, we have to buy the frame rate when we buy the cameras, or can we? What adjustability do we have here?
Depends on the model. Some of ours will do all different frame rates. Some of them, if you're going to use like broadcast formats in the U.S., you would want to make sure you got like the MB model, which is the Marshall broadcast model. If you're only going to stream or use it for some kind of surveillance purpose or something like that, then you'd get the other one. It might be a little cheaper, something like that.
Price range for both of these?
These are all, well, one of these, and let me look at my cheat sheet here because I always forget these things. These are actually, everything I have on the table here is pretty much a $500 camera.
Now,
which is pretty
just
remarkable.
a second here, $500.
Yep.
HDSDI,
That's
$500.
$600.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm looking at these cameras, and the very first thought that comes into my head is, this looks and is priced very similar to a GoPro.
Okay.
What makes this different from a GoPro?
All right. Well, we are different, and
doesn't have GoPro on the side.
I don't
for
see
one
us.
thing.
No, we're not really in competition with GoPro. Matter of fact, we've partnered with them on various stages and things. So what we have different, GoPro has an HDMI connection only. HDMI is typically rated to go about 15 feet. So to go farther, you need to go to a converter and send it out. HDSDI, that's the term used, serial digital interface. I'm sorry, I'm turning the camera around while you're working. The connection on the back is a serial digital interface that goes 300 feet all by itself.
So we get a bigger
on one
run.
cable, I can do 300 feet. We also have interchangeable lenses on all of these cameras, which GoPro doesn't have. The GoPro's great if I'm going to jump off a mountain or climb or do all those crazy things that people do with GoPros. Perfect camera for that. Our cameras don't record. GoPros record. So those are
you're
some of the
just
key
feeding a
differences.
signal. There's no chip inside.
There is no recorder in any of these cameras. This is designed to go to a switcher or a microwave transmitter or someone else's recorder.
No, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, interchangeable lenses. Are you making your lenses also, or
We make
somebody else?
some of these. The real small lenses we make, and we have special purchases on some of these others. This is a Fujinon lens here that we don't make. This one here we sell directly. And then if I can get to these smaller cameras here, these will sort of blow your mind.
We're on a close-up right now, so just...
All right. Let me pull it up slowly here so as not to lose it, if you can follow that. This camera here is easily the most popular camera we have, the CV500.
Turn it sideways.
And
there you go.
Tiny, tiny lens in the front, SDI connection in the back, 12-volt power. This is also a composite output, which is the old standard definition type connection. So you could run that to some garden variety local monitor if you wanted to and see a picture at the same time. These lenses are changeable. There's even a little joystick, miniature joystick in the back here to run the menus. See
Really?
back there? Yeah, see that?
Oh my gosh.
On-screen menus come up, and you can change formats. And these will do everything from like 1080p 24 up to 1080p 60 and everything in between.
Holy
I can
cow.
set them for European formats, which they're also very popular.
Give me
in
an
Europe.
example of what people are using this particular camera.
Well, this camera goes into reality shows. It goes, Formula One's using these.
Now, I saw an interesting video on YouTube where a car on a
On that rally?
did you get the clip?
Yeah, we got the
rolled over
clip,
like
yeah.
6 times, and we're watching it from inside from 2 different angles
That's
as the
not
car
amazing.
spins.
That was these.
Really?
Are
Right
you
here.
serious? And it survived the crash.
Well, sure. You could drive a nail with this camera.
I would probably not want to do that.
No, but you could. Well, here, feel the.
Look at that.
There.
Oh my goodness, that's
It's pretty solid.
It feels like it's a
not
metal
a joke.
case.
Yeah.
And that
It's
has
not plastic.
interchangeable lenses.
This would go with my Barbie doll set.
What lens do we have on this right now?
This is, I think if it's the standard lens, it's 3.7 millimeters, which doesn't mean anything because this is a 1/3 inch imager. I did a little calculation before we came here, and compared to a DSLR lens, which people are familiar with, it'd be like a 25 millimeter DSLR lens, somewhere in that range.
So it's a
28.
somewhat wide angle.
It'd be wide angle. We go wider. We have a range of, I think, a dozen lenses for this camera. The widest is about a 90-degree field of view. So, yeah, this is a remarkable little camera.
And again, price point?
Price point around $500. This one comes with the lens for $500. These would be, you'd add the lens.
Now, all of these require 12-volt supply, so we would
correct.
need to feed 12 volts
They're
to
all
the
12
camera,
volts.
and we get HDSDI coming out the back.
Yep.
And we can we do 720 as well as 1080?
Yes, you can. Yeah. I insisted on that. When I came to work at Marshall, I've only been there like a couple of years, and I said, you got to do 720.
Oh, yeah.
Why should I? said, because ESPN, ABC, Fox all do a lot of sports, and they all do 720.
Yeah, and they're going to laugh at you if you just do 1080. We have the same problem.
That's right.
We have the cameras that we have here just shoot 1080, and we got to run them through a format converter just to be able to stream
goodness.
720. So you're on the side of the angels as far as I'm concerned.
We can select that.
Well, then why don't we
with
just
all of
use these?
Well, I didn't know about them 2 weeks ago. Now I do. We just thought about them as monitors.
Can you put a little teleprompter thingy on this?
I did you could, I suppose. These all have, they all have regular, people familiar with quarter 20 screw, quarter-inch 20 threads per inch screw on the bottom or somewhere on them. This one has the top and bottom. I did a live concert out of Nashville. We streamed out of Nashville 2 concerts with these, 5 of these placed very close to the band and one in the back of the hall.
Can I cut them with regular broadcast cameras? Will they cut reasonably well?
Yeah, you want to get in here and paint a little bit with the menus to get them to match as close as you can. These don't have the deep controls that a broadcast camera has.
Do they have an automatic white balance or a way to set grayscale?
Yeah, you can point them at something, do that, or you can put a preset in. There's also adjustable gamma if people are interested in those things. I'm not sure your audience understands what I'm saying.
Oh,
I
they
don't know
do.
what they are. They do?
Trust me.
That's great. Then I'm talking to the right people. Can I show you another one here?
One more camera.
I don't, but the audience does.
Is that really a camera? The thing that looks like a period at the end of a
thing here?
sentence? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the brand newest, and it has to have an umbilical hanging off of it. I don't know if you can get that in the shot because there's no room to put the connectors on there.
Look at that.
Holy cow.
You see that okay?
Yeah.
Has the same lens, the M12 lens, which means 12-meter lens. And this one does say 3.7 millimeters.
Looks like you get one of those things in a Cracker Jack box.
There's a joystick on the back of that. Now this one mounts with a little arrangement that comes on the sides and holds it like that.
Now we're about to run out of time, but in the time we've got left, what do you have for monitors?
Let me just hurry right up. Well, I brought a monitor one. This is probably, and let me pull the cover off.
This is what I know Marshall for.
Yeah, and since we're not going to plug it in here, everybody's going to see that it makes a nice black. Very nice.
We talked about plugging a monitor in, and it just was too complex for us to handle. But the thing actually works. It's beautiful.
Yeah, this has the very remarkable name of VLCD71MD.
I was just going to ask if that was its name.
The MD, though, means modular design. If I can turn this around and not throw you. We've done this for many years, even way predates me being there. This is a module that you can buy to put different types of inputs in. This particular one has a neat feature for cinematographers. Depending on the module I put in here, SDI module, I can come in, let's say, HDMI from the camera and distribute SDI out for the video village.
Oh, yeah.
Right? For other people to watch. So this can be my viewfinder on the camera, but I'm also sending that out. It has also the power supply section is modular. You can plug a regular little connector in here, but this one has a 4-pin XLR, or you can various battery configurations on here, all kinds of battery configurations. Quarter, 20, all the way around. This is full resolution in a 7-inch monitor. This is 1080.
Full res 1080.
1920 1080 monitor, 7-inch. This is one of the few on the market.
LED,
today.
OLED, what?
This is just regular LED backlit LCD.
Standard LCD.
How well does it do in sun?
It's got about an 800 nit range, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good in the sun. I would recommend a hood in the sun. I think with almost any monitor, I'd recommend that, but. You don't, but anyhow, also headphone jack. And so if you're putting in HDMI, you can listen to the camera right there. But at any rate,
and
so
this
that's
is
it for
one
monitors.
of
This is one of our newest monitors.
That is so cool. Look at this.
Oh, yeah, that's...
You can buy me one for Christmas,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a really nice monitor. You can see
You're
this.
on the list, Larry.
You can see this live in our booth with a picture on it at NAB. And can I show you one more camera?
You can,
I'd
absolutely.
love to do that. Oh, by the way, the same little camera, you can get it with, gee, a monster,
big old
monster
lens.
lens, that big lens there.
Wow.
That's right. And that grabs more light, and then you can also get wider angle versions.
Now, would those be used for broadcast, or they be used for surveillance?
Well, you could use them for surveillance. We've customized these for broadcast. We've aimed them at the broadcast market. We have broadcast settings in them, broadcast formats. A lot of the surveillance cameras only do things like 60p or something like that. One more little camera.
Lipstick.
But
Lipstick, it mounts with 1/4 20 back here. Formula One guys also bought a bunch of these recently. Pretty neat little camera, and also an interchangeable lens, but this one can be dropped in water or work in the rain.
Do you also sell the
nice.
devices to mount all this stuff?
Oh, yeah. We have all kinds of mounts. Some of these we get from other people, some we make.
And Greg, where can people go on the web to learn more about the products Marshall
Go
has?
to, it's an odd way, you can either go to marshall-usa.com, but because we sold so many displays, lcdracks.com. Who would think? But that's where you'll find everything.
One word, lcdracks.com.
Right.
Greg Boren is a product marketing engineer for Marshall Electronics. Greg, thanks for joining us today.
Make sure
Thank
you
you.
just leave all this stuff here.
Appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye.
See you. Thank you very much. All right.